Hi there, thank you for joining me today. This is At Home with Kayla Price, and I'm Kayla. And today I wanted to share with you 12 tips for saving money on clothing. And that is a place or an activity I enjoy. I enjoy shopping. I enjoy finding cool clothes and things that will fit with my wardrobe. And so clothing is what came to mind when I started my list. But after I finished the list, it dawned on me these 12 things will work all over the house. So whatever it is you love to purchase, these 12 ideas will help you stay focused on what you want to curate your collection, and also help you to save money, which I think that for all of us, we probably, for the majority of us, can buy whatever we want, whenever we want, and we do, but then we end up with lots of stuff we don't need, lots of stuff we don't even want, and maybe we give it away or sell it or store it or whatever it may be, but that's all a waste of time and effort and money that we shouldn't have had to deal with to begin with. So the best thing is to just not buy things or be more cautious about what we buy before we spend the money on it. So let me get started on my 12 ideas. If you have additions, which I know you will, if you would leave them in the comments below, I will be sure to read them. And obviously when you comment, you're sharing it with everybody as well as just me. So it's a good way for us to continue the discussion below. The other thing is I am relatively new, still trying to grow my audience. So if you would please subscribe. I would really appreciate it, and hopefully you will enjoy the content today and want to join me each weekend when I post a new video. So without further ado, here we go. 12 ways to save money on your clothing, but also on anything else in your life. First of all, the thing that we all know, but probably few of us do, we need to make a budget. And I would highly recommend that we each have a budget just for our household or life. There are lots of tools online where you can look to see what is normal. What percent should I be spending on my housing? What percent on my clothing? What percent on eating out and entertainment, healthcare? So you can go ahead and, based on what your take-home pay is, you can divvy that up to make sure you put the right percent in savings, or a lot, you know, you're not overspending on your housing or whatever it may be. So I definitely believe in an overall budget. From there, you're going to want a clothing budget, or a whatever your passion is, or a home decor budget or renovation budget, or you know, whatever wherever you tend to spend your money. So on that budget, I do like to build in just a little bit of money for impulse, because sometimes something's fun and exciting and you know you're going to love it, and it's not bad to have an impulse purchase every now and then. However, that's also where you might have some things that you end up not really wanting. You were just caught up in the moment. So you weigh what's best for you in the impulse purchase area. So ways to save money. Number one, make a budget. Because obviously if it doesn't fit in your budget, you can't have it. So make a budget. Number two, make a wish list. I love handbags, and so I usually have a wish list of what handbags I want to purchase. And if you've been watching for a while, you know this was a handbag I had my eye on. But it had a couple of factors going on. A, by the time I decided I wanted it, it was no longer made, so I was having to look for it used. And two, it was a investment piece purchase. So it wasn't that my, you know, monthly clothing budget was going to cover this in 1 month. So I did need to plan for it and be prepared for it, so that when I saw it, I could throw it in my cart and purchase it. So Always have your wish list so that you know exactly the things that you want. That will help you cut down on items that, you know, are pretty, you like, maybe they're on sale, but they're not really what you've been dreaming of and wanting for a while. So on your wish list, I also recommend that you have priorities on that wish list so that you know if it's saving for your perfect pink Prada basket bag or buying a pair of shoes that you wouldn't mind, but you already have a couple that fill the same purpose, that you will know. Hang on to your money so you can buy that Prada bag. Number 3, remember to make purchases with quality over quantity. Be it, you know, I have a love of cloth napkins and tablecloths, so I would rather have a really nice heavy set of linen matching maybe than, you know, things that aren't such a good quality, maybe just a very thin, unsoft, would that be the word? Not a soft weave of cotton. Those I don't want as much unless there's a purpose. You know, that's the sort of thing I'd love to have outside. I'm not going to take my nice stuff out, but within reason, quality over quantity. Now, sometimes you don't want to buy great quality, like I mentioned, tablecloths outside, but also Mike and I just planned a beach vacation, so I'm looking for cover-ups that are not a big price point because you know, you get salty water or you get, you know, water with chemicals in it, chlorine. You don't want to put that on a nice expensive cover-up, and cover-ups aren't something I use that often anyway. So for me, I'm got a couple that I got at H&M or Amazon, and they're going to work for me just fine, and then I'll feel comfortable using them here when I'm at home, and it's not a big investment. So if I ruin one on, you know, dirty boat stuff or whatever, it is what it is, and it's not going to be a loss. Now, sometimes you want to put money in an investment piece. Like, I like to have nice clothes to wear to work because I work in an environment where I'm not typically going to be ruining those items, so they'll last me a good long time. So quality is where I invest there. So figure out what works for you, and just like any rule, there's always going to be an exception. So my exception I have described to you, but figure out what's going to be your exception. Item number or tip number 4 is always to price shop. It's so easy if you're shopping online to compare and get the best deal. Also, you know, don't forget to call around if you are buying locally, and hopefully you are, because small businesses need our support. But you can always call and see who locally might have the best price, or even compare it to the online. And you might be surprised, a lot of time local retailers have a better deal than online retailers, and part of that is because their overhead is probably less. I'm in a small town, so it's much cheaper for a local retailer to rent or own their facility than it is for someone in Dallas. So always price shop, and don't forget to compare prices locally with that. But when you're price shopping, you know, it may not be that you can find an actual good deal on something. Right now, I have my heart set on a pair of white Birkenstock sandals. I believe they're called Giza. They're white leather lining. They have a multicolored buckle. I think they're about $140 to $150 most places online. They are not sold locally. So that is the research I've done on pricing. With my shoe shopping explanation, all the prices, like I said, are pretty similar. Some may have free shipping, some may not, and then some may have like a customer point system. So if all things are equal and I can't find a discount code at one of the retailers that has the shoes that I want, then I'm going to look for a retailer that I might be able to collect some rewards points with, or that offers free shipping. That would be my way of saving money. Even if you can't get a good deal somewhere, then get the best deal you can get. Number 5, this is an easy one and such a good one to keep in mind. If you're not sure about something, then don't buy it. You'll regret buying it. If you still are thinking about the item a month later or a week later, then you can always go and purchase it. If it is sold out, well, then maybe it just wasn't meant to be. But I just find that if I'm not really sure, does this really fit? Is this going to work in my wardrobe? You know, is this the right shade for me? If any of those questions come up, or you just have a gut feeling, then pass that item by. You will regret buying it, most likely. Number 6, and one of my favorite ways to save money, I would say, buy used. And the reason I say that is sometimes when you're buying used, you're not even buying something that someone has used. A lot of these sites now that you find have pretty much brand new items available for sale. So for example, this basket bag that I bought not too long ago, it's a Valentino cute basket bag. I can't remember its name, but it has, you know, the long crossbody strap that goes with it. This I bought online on a site where it was cheaper than if I had bought it in the store, but it had not technically been carried. So why would I not want to save a little money? Now, if I was worried that it was fake or needed a warranty or something like that, I could see that there might be a benefit. Or if there was a rewards point program where it would have been to my benefit to have bought in the store. But none of that was available, and if I wanted the bag, might as well get it at a bit of a discount. So I know, like on Fashion File, you can find giftable, meaning it is just like you went in the store. You could give it to somebody and it wouldn't be any different. Give it to someone as a gift and it wouldn't be any different. So look for items like that, even if you're worried about, you know, my mother had a thing with used purses. She didn't mind some things being used, but for some reason, purses, no way. Keep buying used in mind if it fits in with allowing you to save money and it's something that won't gross you out. Number 7, which kind of goes into buying used, sell what you no longer want and put that money into your clothing budget or houseware budget, or savings account wouldn't be bad either. But let's say I purchase this and just realize this bag will never actually fit with anything in my wardrobe. It is the wrong shade of pink. Instead of holding on to it for several years till it's out of style and no one else wants it, I need to go ahead and sell it while it is in style and something someone would want. So the longer we hang on to things thinking, well, what if? A lot of times it's just lost whatever value it might have, and that's probably why when we're buying used we find giftable or excellent condition, only used a couple of times. It was one of those where somebody wasn't sure, they went ahead and bought it, now they're regretting it, so they're passing it on. But I would suggest, if you find yourself in that boat and you cannot take your item back, you have already worn it or used it, then go ahead and share it with somebody who would want it. Good examples of that to me are evening wear. If you don't go to so many evening things, like I typically go 1 to 2 kind of evening-y ball sorts of deals a year. I'm not going to wear that one dress to both the 2 events because they're both in my town. So it's best once I've worn something for me to go ahead and sell it so someone else can get use out of it, and then save that money and reinvest it in a new evening outfit for the next year. Now, obviously with shoes and evening handbags, that sort of thing, I'm going to go ahead and keep those and hope that they'll work year after year. But with the dress itself, I'm probably going to go ahead and clear it out of my closet so that I'll have the extra space. I usually keep a thing or two for evening just in case something were to pop up. But for the most part, I try to go ahead and get items back out there while they are still available for sale. Other thoughts might be if you've bought some things for a particular sort of deal, for a beach vacation, and you probably won't go on another beach vacation for a while, or ski vacation, you bought ski clothes or something that you're not going to be using probably until your next ski vacation in 2 or 3 years. You might want to go ahead and get rid of those, because if it's something that has to fit, then it might not fit anymore in 3 years. So it's just a way to get the most out of reselling that you can before things are no longer in style. Number 8, if you get home with something and you realize it is not going to work for you, immediately take it and return it. The sooner you return it, the more likely it's going to be within your return item window. And also that frees up your money, frees up closet space, frees up storage space in your house, whatever it may be. So go ahead and get that returned. That will be beneficial to the retailer as well. Just make sure you get it on out there. Don't find it in 2 months and wish you would have returned it. Number 9, if you have something that you particularly have your eye on, I know online we might put it in our cart, or we might bookmark it online, or put it in, is it Klarna or something, where they'll tell you if something goes on sale. Don't forget, with your local retailers, you might go ahead and ask them if you've found a dress that you want. You know, I love this, I want to keep it in mind, but do you know when it might go on sale? Obviously, chances are it could be gone by the time it goes on sale, but it couldn't hurt to ask. That retailer might say, I'll give you 10% off if you want to buy it today. Or they might say, I don't know, or they might say it'll be the end of the season. You just don't know till you ask. I remember a long time ago when I was in college, Dr. Suzanne McCall, my marketing professor, she always recommended that you ask for a cash discount. Now, that was back a while back anyway, and I think people were more used to using cash and checks. Now everybody's doing credit cards or debit cards, and so the 3% retailer was going to lose to the credit card company. Her premise was, if you would pay cash, they get to save their 3%, and they might maybe give you a little bit off as well. So couldn't hurt to ask, even for a cash discount. Number 10, catalogs. We get them all the time in the mail. I'm sure you get, I don't even know where these companies get my name. I don't know why these companies get my name, but catalogs are like the emails you get in your inbox. Do not open them. If you open them, you're always going to find something you like. Not something you were looking for and not something you need, but something that you like, be it a new this season catalog, or a these things are on sale catalog, or email. Just put them in the trash before you open them. So I really do think that some of us go shopping for a thing. Like, I need a new pair of black pants. There are no black pants in here that work for me. Throw that away. But then I think there are some of us that are like, I'm bored. Let's see what's in here. Oh, well, I can see myself in that. I can see myself in that. And that's where we get into trouble, and we get off of our budget. We get off of our wish list. We might find something to put on our wish list, And in that case, what you do is if it's online, you put it in your basket, but you walk away. If it's in a catalog, what I like to do is turn the page over, and then I put all these catalogs in a basket in a spare bedroom. That way it's out of sight, out of mind, and chances are I'm not going to go back in and purchase those items. But if I do keep thinking about a particular item in a catalog, then I can go in there, find the catalog, and make the purchase. But like I said, most of the time you're not going to. You're going to save yourself some money. And the same thing, I will put things in a basket on my phone, and when I'm cleaning out open windows, maybe in a week or two, I might see it. And by then, I've moved on. I'm no longer interested in whatever it was that I put in my basket. So those are 2 good tips that don't really cost you any time or effort. It's just giving you that wait time, that cooling off period. Is this really something you want to put your hard-earned money into? And while I'm mentioning that, I also have a blog post that I can link below on when something costs, whatever it may be. Let's say this fan costs $10. It actually doesn't cost you $10. It costs you $10 of take-home pay, which might be $20 of gross pay, which might be, you know, an hour of your time. So was this really worth an hour? So read that blog post. It has better math to use rather than me making it up off the top of my head, but you get the point. The things we buy cost so much more, and if we think about how much of our life, how much of the time we put into buying it, we would probably save our money more for retirement. Okay, so I've talked about catalogs and emails and not just mindlessly flipping through, because we're always going to find things that we could use, but not necessarily things that we knew we wanted, if that makes sense. Good retailers are going to give you what you don't even know what you need or want, and then when you see it, you have to have it. Number 11 kind of goes along with what I said on 10. If you're not going to flip through the catalog or open the email, then you're good. But if you do, quarantine it. Put the item, put the catalog in your timeout space. So mark what you think you want. Put it in a basket where you don't see the basket every day. And if your mind keeps going back there, be it your computer or an actual physical basket, well, then it's something you probably do want. But most of the time, it's just something you saw that you could use, but not necessarily something you need. So that is number 11. And number 12, always think of things in regard to, would I rather have this or would I rather have that? Especially if there are big ticket items that you want. So it wouldn't take long for small little $10, $20, $50 Amazon purchases, or you know, just tchotchke purchases like an extra candle, or you know, oh, I don't need it, but while I'll take 2, or whatever it may be. Those things add up to where real quickly you could have bought something big ticket that you really have had your eye on. So just be careful and keep in mind this or that. It might even be something unrelated. So right now I'm wanting to redo my dad's barn, which I love and adore. And I know that it's going to be a bigger ticket item than I'm planning on. I'm trying to think of little things, little small purchases that so easily I could make every day. Instead of doing those, put into the bigger ticket item so that soon enough I will have a beautiful barn that means something to my family that I have preserved. Those are my 12 ways to save money on clothing or anything else that you like to spend money on in your life. If you've enjoyed this video, please give me a thumbs up and remember to subscribe, and I will see you back next week, okay? Bye.